Thanks for starting your Monday with us. I'm Corey Rose.
And I'm Drew Carney. Right now, we do want to get right over to Brianna Fernandez. She has a traffic impact alert for us involving I-25.
Yeah, right now I-25 is a mess, and that's because of a rollover crash. Sky 9 still over the scene of this southbound I-25 full closure. That's according to Colorado Department of Transportation. This is all happening near County Road 34, so up in the Meade area. Weld County, for anyone taking southbound I-25 this morning, it is going to be a nightmare because no one is moving. You can just see the line of cars that are right behind all the crews there on scene. So we have significant police presence out there. I have reached out to Colorado State Patrol because we are seeing that rollover crash. It looks like one red vehicle. It's upside down at the moment, and a tow truck just arrived on scene, but it's unclear exactly when they will fully reopen southbound I-25. Let me show you what this looks like on our CDOT cameras. These are the delays that we are seeing right behind that rollover crash. And then along 84th Avenue, we have several vehicles that were involved in a crash. So 2 left lanes plus that express lane are shut down right now. Crews have blocked them off, so everyone's just having to merge and squeeze to that center and far right lane. Again, this is all happening near southbound I-25 at 84th Avenue. So 2 major crashes happening. One's a full closure, the other one 2 left lanes are partially blocked. I kind of want to show you what this looks like on our maps as well. So zooming into that full closure that we're seeing up in the Meade area. So again, this is along southbound I-25 near County Road 34. You're seeing the delays that we are seeing right now as soon as you approach Highway 119. Once you pass that crash, of course, you're going to be in the clear, but no one can get through right now. So your best bet is just to take alternate routes that are far away from I-25. Your overall drive, if you are taking southbound I-25 from 144th down to 76, you're looking at almost a 40-minute drive. And the reason that we're seeing those significant slowdowns, it's because of that crash along 84th Avenue that has 2 left lanes partially blocked, and we are seeing slowdowns just before you hit 104th Avenue.
Brianna, thank you for the update. It is 7:02, and as the sun comes up gradually, sunrise officially will be at 7:02 here in Denver. It is 7:20, that is, here in Denver. It is a mild morning. Temperatures have fallen to the 40s, but into the high country where we have seen some below freezing temperatures. A lot of melting occurred throughout the course of the weekend, so mainly dry roads, but just be careful if you encounter any sneaky icy patches over higher terrain. But here across the Denver area, we are back to the 70s today. Tomorrow, gusty winds will arrive in spots. A slight cool down Wednesday, but for the course of this week, no real notable precipitation on tap all across Colorado. So a quiet radar picture early on, a bright and at times blinding eastbound drive in the next 15 minutes or so. Temperatures across the plains in the 30s out east of Burlington and Ray, and we'll be hovering here in the low 40s for Denver. No weather worries out at the airport. Relatively calm winds right now. Some cloud coverage from Fort Collins to Greeley, but this afternoon, lots of sunshine expected. 71 the high. Wind gusts around 20 miles per hour possible, so it will turn breezier later on today across the Front Range. We have seen some strong winds up over our northern Front Range mountains this morning, but where the humidity will be the lowest and the winds the strongest will be over portions of southern Colorado. A red flag warning will be issued this afternoon and last through evening. We are expecting to see some very high winds and also elevated fire danger across the foothills, Front Range, and east as we get to the end of the week, with even stronger winds ahead Thursday through Saturday.
All right, Katie, thank you for that. There was tragedy over the weekend in the mountains. A snowmobiler died in an avalanche in Eagle County, Colorado's first avalanche death this winter. The snowmobiler was reported missing in the Boss Basin area Saturday night near Copper Mountain, near the border between Summit and Eagle counties. When first responders got to the area where the avalanche happened, they found ski and snowmobile tracks nearby. On Sunday, they confirmed David Pickett Heaps had died. We're still waiting to hear how old he was and where he was from. The Colorado Avalanche Information Center says the slide was near the tree line of the northeast-facing slope and was about 2 feet deep.
Rescue crews responded to a second avalanche Sunday in the backcountry near Mount Quandary, which is just south of Breckenridge. The Colorado Avalanche Information Center says 3 skiers were leaving the North London Mill Hut when the group noticed some cracking. They spread out, but then the avalanche broke above the group, catching 2 of them. One became partially buried at the hip, but both were able to get out and no one was hurt.
The state reports that more than 500,000 people in Colorado are living with a disability related to a brain injury.
The Colorado Department of Human Services is highlighting its self-screening tool during Brain Injury Awareness Month. 9 News reporter Janelle Finch joins us live with how it benefits public health. Good morning.
Good morning. The state says with this tool, people can privately screen themselves for possible effects or symptoms of brain injuries. They say when a screen comes back positive, a person will be connected to tips, organizations, and resources for support. CDHS says its online brain injury screening and support system, or OBIS, was used 1,200 times in the last year. More than 1,000 screens came back positive. Questions will ask if you've ever been hospitalized due to an injury to your head or neck, lost consciousness, or played sports with a lot of head contact. One woman says she's been able to navigate daily challenges associated with her brain injury with the OBIS.
Injury isolates you. It's much more difficult to get out into the community and to connect. You know, and perhaps as you begin to heal and feel more comfortable at going to a resource organization.
She says through the OBIS, she was able to connect with Westside Care Center in Colorado Springs. She says that center got her into a safe shelter while she was exiting homelessness, and now she's a volunteer with them. The state says nationally, more than half of the people unhoused report a brain injury history. Live in Denver, Janelle Finch, 9 News.
Janelle, thank you. An apparent explosion caused minor damage to the U.S. Embassy in Oslo, Norway. This was the scene outside of the embassy. It happened early Sunday morning, sending thick smoke into the street. The justice minister in Norway said they have launched an investigation, and the police said the blast may be linked to the ongoing security situation, but no suspects have been identified.
Iran announced a new supreme leader over the weekend. State media reported that Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's second son was chosen to take his father's place. President Trump had already said before that that would be an unacceptable choice. The president also suggested that he wanted to handpick Iran's new leader.
Do you want to be involved in the selection of the next leader of Iran? Can you talk to me?
Well, because I don't want to just come back every 10 years, and mostly you'll have presidents, that won't do that because they don't get it. But we don't want to come back every 5 years or every 10 years and do this, so we want to pick a president that's not going to be leading their country into a war.
Israel has already said it will target the new supreme leader.
U.S. Central Command announced that a 7th U.S. service member has been killed in the war with Iran. A statement from X from Sunday reads, quote, "Last night, a U.S. service member passed away from injuries received during the Iranian regime's initial attacks across the Middle East. The service member was seriously wounded at the scene of the attack on U.S. troops in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia on March 1st. It continues, this is the 7th service member killed in action during Operation Epic Fury. Major combat operations continue.